your ancestral lineage. You are the unique expression of the one divine being in human form, manifesting through the trinity of mind, soul, and body, each carried by their ancestral lineages. In the view on spirituality I offered in the previous chapter, the ancestral lineages play a major role. But in this view, the word ancestors covers a completely different area of human reality than what is commonly known. When people speak about their ancestors, they mean their parents, grandparents, and maybe one or two generations further back, before the track disappears in the great sea of unconsciousness. But is this the enormous field of beings that have led to this unique melting point called I? Just count back for a moment from your two parents, your four grandparents, and further back from there to 8, 16, 32, 64, and so on, all indisputably your ancestors. It is clear that through our thinking mind, we are totally unable to grasp the totality of who our ancestors are, and as a result of that, the true heritage they have left for us. The argument here is that we do not know, and there is no proof for all these ancestors. Well, aren't you proof enough? Do we need proof to expand our consciousness to the unknown that is obviously real? It is a great art to embrace the mystery of the great miracle of life. To use our thinking mind as far as it can take us, but to leave it there, just as you don't go to bed with your shoes still on. The rest of the journey we can cover with a much greater intelligence, your presence and your consciousness. So, how can we approach this theme in a way that reaches much deeper in the unknown ancestral fields? It requires that we not only look much further back in time, but also bring our consciousness besides the physical or earthly plane to the heavenly plane. In spiritual teachings, these two are also known as the terrestrial and celestial ancestral fields. Practicing this for myself and teaching this to others since many years, I can say that we use only a fraction of our ancestral potential. Exploring this deeper does not only bring a big consciousness shift, it also spontaneously awakens a state of gratitude, peace, purpose, and a feeling being guided during your life journey. Please realize that in this approach, there is a mental part that uses logic and understanding, and there is a more sensing part related to your physical body and your aura. Only where these two come together, they will bathe in your full consciousness. The earthly part has a macrocosmic and a microcosmic layer. The first is how all life forms, plants, and animals have contributed to the formation of your body. Part of this went through a long and broad process of recycling bodies in the body of the earth. First in the psychic layer, but then also on the physical plane. Something we might remember spontaneously during deep meditation, but not a priority for now. More important now is to look at the process of separation of body and soul at the moment of death. The general belief is that life leaves the body which is taken apart in particles and returns to dust. What is overseen here is, both in the macrocosmic and the microcosmic plane, is that the particles also contain your spiritual essence. This means that if we follow the line, or better, if we follow the field of ancestors back in time and in the body of the earth, we can realign with the potential of our complete ancestral field. Yes, even if we don't know or see it. Well, how does this work? When following the two terrestrial ancestral rivers from your parents back, starting with you as their fusion point, they will each have a specific quality. Just imagine all of the members of these two families, each in one room. What would the energetic quality be in these rooms? For sure, very different. This is good to study this for yourself, what the typical qualities of these two families are. From the sense of each of these branches, you can meditatively follow these two rivers further back behind and below you. That is the feeling it gives, behind and below you, because it's past and it's embodied. At a certain point, you will lose the sense of difference between the two streams, and they will disappear in the dark, formless body of the earth. A bit further down, the last abstract picture, thought, feelings, is absorbed in the deep unity of your consciousness and the earth body. A state of conscious unconsciousness. And yet, being able to go there and travel back to existence consciously will have opened to the true potential of your terrestrial ancestral rivers. On the celestial or heavenly plane, we also have a wide ocean of ancestors. Some of the earthly biological ancestors have moved to the other side, but remain deeply in contact with us, even guiding us in our worldly life. Do you know yours? It is not necessary to imagine anything. Simply listen deep inside your chest, a place I call the heart-soul space. This place will know instantly, because your heavenly ancestors are to be found right here. Even if their pictures are projected in space through the mind. But more subtle, there are also many of these ancestors connected to other lives that are also present, but in a much more subtle way, comparable to what I previously told you about your earthly ancestors of thousands of years ago. On the collective, heavenly plane, there have been societies, communities, religions that we have belonged to and still resonate with. Again, even if we don't remember anything about them, there is always a part that we do remember. But for most of us, this remembering does not come through our conscious minds, but through a sense of resonance and the effect of this in our consciousness. In my case, the whole Tao Shinto spiritual tradition was very familiar since my puberty. Studying martial arts, meditation, and Oriental healing arts often felt more like a repetition than something new. Well, a lot of people think that is unique with me, but in reality, each of us has these memories. Each of us has a deep wisdom source hidden deep inside the psyche and the body. But most of us simply, we don't allow the intelligence that bubbles up from that source. If we don't see the link with what we know and what can be confirmed by the mind and the senses. Same with places where you come where the spirit of an ancient civilization is still present. This awakens deep remembering for many of us. But sometimes people over-focus on this civilization and its location on Earth and miss out on the source that is hidden inside of their own psyche and body. We simply recognize the external place inside of us through resonance. When one listens and learns to sink into that place, it changes to a portal that brings us to civilizations, spirit beings, and memories in the heavenly consciousness where we resonate with. The challenge will be that you will have no point of reference in history, science, and existence. And also here, people tend to over-focus on what they have discovered and make it a belief or even a religion. In my experience, following the alchemy of life, the discovery of the terrestrial and celestial ancestral lines is simply opening our access to the intelligence field of the earthly and heavenly realms. To discover and remember what you also are on other planes means an enormous expansion of your consciousness and the intelligence field that is available for you. A much bigger contribution to your awakening than what any spiritual master or method can give you. Because this is something that you already are, not what you have been. That would obviously project it into time and separate us from the direct experience. It's all about gratefully listening to hear and accept the gentle communications from the beings and intelligences in the earthly body inside of you and the heavenly body around you. You probably see the link here with the point and circle, the symbol I talked about in the previous recordings. To become the conscious middle point and enjoy how the wisdom from your ancestors comes together in you. To do this more and more embodied and present, without attachment, will make your state awake and your path clear. The feeling of being constantly embraced and guided. Just give it a try. In gratitude.